Statistically, only 6% of you are subscribed, so if you're part of the 94% that isn't, please consider subscribing today. Hey, SallyBC here, and today I'm doing a video on Transformers Studio Series Skipjack. So just like all the other Constructicons I've done recently, this is part of the Devastator box set instead of the individual figure. So let's take a look at this. Some of the painting on this is really quite nice. You can see some of the silver painting and this little detailing around. The front, all of this silver is really quite nice as well. It's a shame that it's quite hollow at the back here, but you know, it's not something to get too tied up about. Yep. It can roll decently well. It's not great. These wheels here sometimes have difficulties rolling, but this wheel rolls quite nicely. Let's do some size comparisons. Here it is next to Earthrise Optimus. See how it's actually quite a lot bigger, even though they're about the same size class. And here it is next to some of the other Voyager class figures from the Constructicons. There's Scrapper and Mixmaster, and there's Longhaul. See how they're all quite similar sizes. You know, none of them are a lot bigger than any of the others, but of course this one is way out of scale with a lot of the other ones. In fact, it actually scales quite well next to the Earthrise Optimus when you look at it. You know, they scale quite nicely to each other. Next up is the two leader class figures from the Constructicon box set. There's Overload and Scavenger. As you can see, the scale is way off when you compare those two, but they don't look too bad together. Now, one more thing before I get to transformation is that these two bits here, they can come off, but they're not super loose, so it's not really that big of a deal. So now, let's get onto the transformation. First thing you're going to want to do is come to here and detach the treads like this. They'll come down like this. Then you want to come here, take this piece, and this will twist around, detaching from here, and this piece just moves up like that. Same on the other side. This comes down, and this goes up. Then you're going to want to come to the bottom here and take this piece, and this comes out. This will become a stand for the robot mode. So now you want to come to the side here and detach these. That tab there goes into that hole there, so pull it out like this. These two pieces can fold down, nice and simply. Then you just want to take this entire section and fold it up like that. Then this wheel you can just push up like that to make it more flush. Turn this around, see there's the head. These arm pieces, you want to take these, move them around, push that wheel down, and that collapses over like that. This section here will rotate down like that. Come around here. This you want to detach, move around like that. Same on the other side. So this moves around, this goes down, that moves down. Then on this side, this detaches and spins around, and then that just rests up there like that. Then you want to fold out this piece, and then you want to get this in a bit of a position like that. I'll come to the stand. This piece folds out, and then this peg here will go into this hole here, just like that. There's Skipjack in his robot mode. This is a really odd design, and one that's difficult to get any real interesting poses with. But aside from that, I really, really love this. I think it's so cool, really. Of course, he didn't show up in the movie. His repaint, Rampage, did. I don't have Rampage. I don't know if I will get Rampage. It's a potential that I might, because I absolutely adore the movie Devastator. But anyway, the articulation on this guy. It's got a bit of a hinge here at the base of the neck. The head is on a ball joint, so it can move up and down, and there's a hinge or swivel here, so you can move side to side as well. So the head has got quite a bit of articulation. The arms are on a butterfly joint here. They can move out, and they can swivel here and here. There's no elbow joint, just this, and the fingers can move partially. This can also move out like this, but that's more for the combining transformation. There's an Abercrunch, I guess, and then there's also a ratchet here, which I guess that would be leg movement. And there's this, which I guess would be knee, maybe ankle, who knows. So it's a big rod at the bottom of his body. Of course, I guess you could count this as articulation, but it's a stand, so probably not. The head sculpt on this guy is really nice. Unlike some of the other ones, there aren't any paint mishaps that I can tell of. Really nice. The sculpting on this in general is really nice as well. Like the pylon, the leg. I'm just going to call it a leg. The leg's got some nice silver detailing. Of course, on the back you've got the canopy, I guess, and the scoop, I guess. Of course, the treads turn into the arms, so that gives it a nice sort of aesthetic. Unfortunately, he can't pull off what Rampage did in the movie, where like the treads come down as like whips, which is a shame. It's a shame. This is like the closest you can get. You know, if there was like a swivel here that you could then move down, I think that would have worked quite well. But you know, you can't do everything. You gotta make some compromises. So on to size comparisons. Here he is next to Optimus Prime, Earthrise Optimus Prime. See how he's a little bit taller than him, but he is quite a bit wider. So like, I just love how this guy gets so much bigger in robot mode compared to a lot of other characters. I think it really pulls off a sort of like weak becoming strong sort of sentiment, I guess. Here he is next to Longhaul. They look alright together. He looks way too short compared to him. Like, this guy should be much bulkier, but hey. Here he is with Scrapper, his yellow teammate. They look quite nice together. You know, I think, you know, these two could be like a squad that would go out on like missions together or something. Then here he is next to his last Voyager buddy, Mixmaster, the leader. You know, they look alright together. You know, this guy should just be like a bit bigger, but hey, it's whatever, you know. The sizing is going to always be inconsistent with Devastator figures. Even if they do a masterpiece in the future, the sizing is still going to be inconsistent. That guy in the movie is just phenomenally large. Finally, the leaders. Here he is next to Overload. See, their head height is similar, but Overload is, of course, a lot wider. So, there's that. And last but not least, of course, there is the big boy, the wheelie boy, Scavenger. Of course, you know, height, head height, you know, it's Scavenger's shorter at the head, but, you know, Scavenger is just enormous and a pain in the backside to stand up, so I'm going to get rid of him. If Scavenger came with a little stand, that could have been quite nice. Like, if you look here, there are these indents that peg into this top wheel when it transforms. So they could have had something that pegs in here and then goes underneath and pegs into the other side. But maybe that would have like knocked up the price or something. So you know, I can understand why they didn't do that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Skipjack. I really like this figure. I think most people are gonna go for Rampage, unless they're buying the box set or they want a screen accurate, a more screen accurate Devastator. They're gonna go for Rampage because he's the one that actually showed up in the film. But you know, I quite like this. I really do like this figure. I think I prefer the red color scheme over the yellow color scheme. Again, but you know, it's whatever. But yeah, I'd say that's about it for this video. So I guess that's Salut BC out.